Yes, good evening, my esteemed panelists. Rahul, about 2 days ago, I said that
the Hindus are second-class citizens. I apologize for that remark. I was wrong. The Hindus are third-class citizens. If it isn't that they have been subjected to this cruel and barbaric Places of Worship Act, if it isn't that their temples are under the control exclusively of the government, if it isn't that their idols and deities are being shamelessly desecrated as claimed by Mr. Jain, then surely the very fact that a religion whose dogma ordains that Hindus are the worst of creatures, that Kafirs must be obliterated, annihilated, that very religion and the people who worship in that religion are conducting prayers at a place that was clearly built upon demolishing a Hindu temple. What more extreme provocation evidence do you need? I don't understand this. In which country? Let me give you an example. If I, as a Hindu, was chanting Hanuman Chalisa in a temple that was built upon a demolished mosque, would my friends here, Mr. Menon, would he not be provoked? Would it not be an egregious act on my part? It is astonishing. What kind of country is this? Meri samajh mein nahi aa raha hai. Or number two, with due respect to Mr. Jain, who is clearly, as you said, brilliant and is taking up the side, his side, I have to say what I said on the first day of the debate, Rahul, that unfortunately Hindus have fallen into this trap of proving whether a Shivling exists or not. It is immaterial to their case, totally immaterial. Because the fact remains that in order to prove whether that indeed is a Shivling or not, you cannot do carbon dating because it is a non-living thing. You cannot do radioactive dating because the stone will be possibly of millions of years old. It has to be, the evidence has to be textual or anecdotal. And in both cases, the evidence does not exist. But the fact of the matter is, why go to the extent of proving Shivling right or wrong? You know from Masir-e-Alamgiri, you know from all the surrounding primary sources that this indeed was a temple and it was demolished by Aurangzeb. And on top of that was the mosque that was built, Gyanvapi Mosque. So two things must happen immediately. Sir, please, I did not interrupt you.
Go back. Why only Aurangzeb? Why only Aurangzeb? Why are you not talking about the Pushpamitra Sangha?
One second, Mr. Ambedkar, you can't railroad somebody else. Let him speak. Let him speak. Respect. Respect. Please.
Favorable statements are
Mr.
not.
Mr. Ambedkar, don't worry. Even though I am not Aurangzeb, I am going to demolish your argument. Just please have patience for 1 minute.
No.
Rahul,
Yes,
two things must happen immediately. Number one, all prayers by people professing the faith of Islam must stop immediately at Gyanvapi Mosque. It is, to my mind, and it is an extreme provocation. And number two, because a BJP spokesperson is there, I implore him to put the Places of Worship Act in immediate abeyance. You cannot have a barbaric Places of Worship Act in regulation and in use at this time of the day. Now let me come to Mr. Ambedkar, who reminds me of Guido in 8.5 of Fellini. I have nothing to say, but I'll say it anyway. Number one, Mr. Ambedkar, let me ask you one question because you represent AIMIM and there are two other fellow Muslims on this panel. Do you believe, straight question hai, himmat hai to answer kariyega. Do you believe that Ahmadiyyas are Muslims, yes or no? And number two, if a Buddhist temple or shrine was demolished by Aurangzeb and a mosque built on it, and there was confirmatory evidence that yes, indeed that was the case, would you not want that Buddhist temple to be returned to Buddhists? These are the two questions. If you have the guts, if you have the guts, answer these two questions. Number one, are Ahmadiyyas Muslims?
Okay. Let me answer. Do you believe in the statement of Bal Gangadhar Tilak Sahib?
The answer to a question.
Do you believe?
I will answer all your questions.
Given by the Bal Gangadhar Tilak Sahib?
मैं आप जैसा नहीं हूँ, Mr. Ambedkar. मैं आप जैसा नहीं हूँ. I will answer all your questions. But I ask you two questions. Why don't you have the guts to answer those two questions? Rahul is there as a judge. He will make sure I answer your questions. He will make sure that I answer your questions. But I want you to have the guts tonight, live, in front of all Indians.
Why are you not talking about the Raja Brother? Who killed Raja Brother? Who killed Raja Brother? And who has demolished the Buddhist stupas? Who has demolished the Buddhist stupas? Why are you not talking about the Jagannath Puri temple as a Buddhist Buddhist structure.
Rahul,
Why
can I come in
about
here?
that?
Yes, of course. You can. I have not stopped anybody.
What Swami Vivekananda
No, but the
said,
problem is his
what
constant
Swami-
interruptions,
Okay.
So why are you not talking about all that structures?
Okay, 1 second. You see, we have a problem here.
So on record,
Yeah.
Rahul, on record, let it be on record that Mr. Ambedkar, who unfortunately shares the same name as the great Dr. Ambedkar, did not answer both my questions.
True.
He did not answer whether Ahmadiyas are Muslims or not.
I have answered.
Where?
I have answered.
Where have you answered?
Do you believe in the theory of the? Do you believe in the theory
that the
of
answer to
Bal
your
Gangadhar
question?
Tilak Sahib? Do you believe in the theory of Bal Gangadhar
Mr.
Tilak Sahib?
Mr. Ambedkar,
Why
the
are
questions
you
are direct to
talking
you.
about
If you can't answer
are you
them, it's
talking about
okay.
Ahmadiyya?
You know, why are you
Why are you
torturing?
talking about
Dr.
that?
Ranganathan, why are you torturing this gentleman? You said
Now
you were
let me
not
come to-
Aurangzeb. You said you were not Aurangzeb. So don't torture him.
Now,
Let him
around
go.
30 seconds.
Let him go.
No.
Let him go tonight.
No.
Spare him.
No, are you believing?
See, this
Are you
is the
believing the
problem.
statement given by?
Now, Ambedkar, no, Mr. Ambedkar, no, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt, because even though you did not answer my questions, I am going to answer your question. I am going to answer it. Because I am not a Jew like you are.
Okay, let him answer.
believe in Dr.
1 second,
Ambedkar.
Mr. Ambedkar. He'll answer you. 1 second, Zubair
All
Saab.
your
1 second.
evidences about Hindus demolishing Buddhist shrines and temples are fraudulent extrapolations of what a fraudulent historian D.N. Jha said. But if you are able to actually prove that indeed through primary sources, and Abbas has done great work. Now, Rahul, I cannot answer his question if he interrupts me.
Okay, I'm going to count till 5. Mr. Ambedkar, if you can't keep quiet, I'll have to silence you. That's not fair. You don't want to answer Dr. Ranganathan's question. You want to interrupt him when he's answering yours. This can't happen. So I'm going to count till 5. Actually, I'm going to count till 3. 1, 2, 3. If I have your silence, great. If I don't, I'm lowering your fader. I've given you the warning. Don't cry about, draconian measures taken by Times Now to silence your booming voice. Don't crib about that. I'm counting. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan.
Yes, very briefly, मुझे किसी से डर नहीं है, इसीलिए मैं इनका क्वेश्चन आंसर कर रहा हूँ. इन्होंने मेरे आंसर नहीं किया on the record. Now, let me answer it. Rahul, I am sure Mr. Ambedkar knows that Buddha is one of the Dasavataram of Vishnu. I am sure he knows it. But in case he is able to bring primary...
Come on.
Okay, shut him down. Cut his audio. That's it. Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
In case he is able to bring primary evidence that indeed the Hindus demolished Buddhist temples and shrines, I will stand with him.
Okay.
I will go to Supreme Court and I will seek justice for the restoration of those Buddhist temples and shrines to the Buddhists. That's the whole point.